quick update from super busy days here at the farm. We're halfway through our training and it's going really fast. It's been an amazing course so far, and I haven't made videos for a while because we're just super busy. Most of the people on this training have a farm or project that they're going off to, and some of the interns will be carrying on that design and really getting down to very detailed bills of quantities and business plans. But really it's an exercise in this training to develop an overview of all the different strategies and tools and techniques available to us for regeneration of all systems around the world, and then a practice in how to go about designing any unique landscape and working together in that process so that they can go off and do that with more time in detail for themselves. Amazing group, we've been having a fantastic time, and we had a nice celebration dinner down at the lake last night. And really beautiful weather today, and tomorrow and onwards it looks a bit rainy, but the team here is awesome, and they've all been really getting into taking care of each other and the spaces, as well as looking after, you know, the animals and the chores around the farm, getting really into that. And yeah, we'll hear more from participants near the end of the training, but I think people have been having an amazing time. I've been having an amazing time. It's always very tiresome, you know, with a lot of people running around to manage and managing the back end. We've been reshuffling with the core team a bit and dealing with some of the personal things that come up for people when their space and context changes with all these people coming. But all going amazingly well. I'm super happy with the group we have here. It's day 7 for batch 3, and everything's doing fine in here. Much easier to keep temperature at this time of year when it's nice weather outside. Had a couple of really nice sunny days and a bunch of rainy days to come now, which makes it quite noisy in the teaching year because it amplifies the sound of rain, which will make communications interesting. But batch 3 doing really good in here. Day 30 for batch 2, and much more favourable conditions for these guys coming out in the nice weather. They're doing really fine. So it's day 51 for the birds in the field. We're actually going to process these birds on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm thinking, in bigger batches. It's much nicer to have 3 longer days than 4 shorter days because the wash down is a big part of the procedure. But you see they put on a lot of growth in this last period. Some of these birds are already above slaughter weight, but they're, you know, averaging out about 2 kilos, I would guess. And they're enjoying the fresh breeze, I think, just letting a new amount of air flow through the pens. The cows and sheep are halfway down top field now, and they're jumping forward. They had 3 moves of 2 nets at the moment, and they might be out a couple of days earlier than planned, which means we have to address our grazing plan. Anytime you change the number of days in any paddock, as it were, you affect the recovery of other days. But it's dependent on the broilers, obviously. If we're passing through areas where they've been and there's not much forage, then we have to move on and therefore move faster than planned. But amazing the grass growth in here. There's a lovely young walnut here in the plastic lines that we put in with a Keyline rip and tucking the plastic into coulter rips on the side. We're coming in here to clean up the weeds poking out, and we'll put in 2 rows of strawberry with all the strawberry we have. Should have the sheep shearer here this weekend, and you see they're utilising their shade mobile on a sunny day. Clouds, sun's just gone behind the clouds now, but it's quite hot today even though the wind's picking up. But beautiful growth here. They're just working their way through the bottom of top field, but you can see there's my foot. Growth has been explosive now, and there's a good 50 centimeters here. That's a nice amount of quite rich forage. So the silos got raised by a timber machine, and I think it went well. Nearly dropped one, it sounded like, but they've been bolted down with big expander bolts. and they're all cleaned up inside, and the team have put together these roofs to protect the top. We're going to give them a lick of paint, and we're just fixing now the filler pipe, and we're getting a bulk delivery on Friday, so that's going to radically change the operation of how we do feeding and the basic morning maneuvers. Beautiful cold hardy kiwi here that's really taken off. We planted up some more apple, pear, plum, cherry and black currants just to finish this last tree lane. This is up the top of front field near the sauna and sheep barn. We'd always left this open because we had planned a natural swimming pool from the beginning, but it's quite a big investment cost, about 10,000 euros, and it's not a high priority, and we just decided we're probably never going to do that. We've built a big pond down here and we have the wonderful lake nearby. It's just not really worth the investment. It was going to be a 25-meter long swimming pond so people could come straight out of the sauna and jump in there, and mainly for quality of life, but it's just not necessary, and it's a big capital investment for something that is not needed fully. So we decided to fill in the tree lane this year, which is nice, and some nice trees in there and more berry bushes. And we've been doing a load of cuttings of blackcurrant to replace failed raspberry crops, and this was raspberry that just, you know, it was dead on arrival in a sense, because we were planting into wet clay. We worked, on the first week we were at the farm, we worked down from top to bottom of top field and then up front field, and it was just too wet, and we thought, well, they've started growing and they're going to die if we don't put them in, and they're going to die if we do, but we may as well put them in. But it's been nice weather for the campers. Everyone's sleeping okay and eating amazing food, very happy with the food, and the course has been going great. They're into their design time now. Here's Mother Rabbit in the Mark 1 prototype rabbit mobile, utilising the old mini tunnels that don't fit the sort of bed and cropping structure we do now. She's pregnant and we'll have bunnies soon, but there's also some more rabbits coming soon, hopefully. So that's the beginning of the adventure with pastured rabbits for us, which I'll update you more about when we know. And some of the grapevines we potted up sprouting now, but they suffered in the post again. You can see some are putting on new shoots, but it's trouble with relying on plants through the post, really. But we'll be planting these out with the interns. That's why we waited and put them into pots and clean up the vineyard, spot mulch it, and get these out onto their new alders. We're growing alder as a nitrogen fixer, but living trellis to grow these up, and I'm hoping that we get the full vineyard planted up this year. First lilies are coming up on the pond. We have the red lily here with white flowers, also green lilies coming up, and the trout have been feeding. I've been watching them hunting in the evenings. Need to get in here and tidy up the vineyard. New growth is emerging now, and the vines have put on about 30 centimeters of growth in the last couple of weeks. We need to just get in here and do a little spot weeding and mulching and just trim the grass down, probably bring the rams in here to do that. We've been studying a lot to do with perennial systems, tree and berry and other perennial crop systems, as well as water management, Keyline design. And we've been talking all day today about market gardening and looking at the best market garden planning and tools and approaches combined with the best soil care techniques, which is, in my mind, is no dig. And a lot of the projects that people are developing now include market gardening, so I'm really excited to see some of their projects. It's going to be very real, very doable work, which is always a sign to me that things are going well with the transmission that we're aiming for in this training. A lot of mesclun up now, and trials have begun with the bioferts. I'm going to do a comprehensive overview of that as things progress and give you recipes and the results as they go. Gardens are looking fantastic now. South beds are really pumping. They always kick off a bit earlier, mainly due to extra sun. We've also worked the soil here more, that there's probably some benefits there too. Spinach is going a little bit over, and it looks like we'll be changing that in our seeding plan, because that's the second year in a row it's just a little bit over. But really nice salad mixes, and everything's looking beautiful around here now. First beans are coming in, French beans. We only grow French beans mainly. Garlic's going up really nicely. Let's go and have a look in the tunnel. First cucumbers are in now, and tomatoes doing really well. Some of these tomatoes are just so robust, they don't need any stringing up. Actually, there's some very strong plants. Bit behind with our tomatoes this year, but it's, you know, it's all good. And got some in the cropping with basils and lettuces and some fennels, dill, sorry, here. And this bed is going to turn into cucumbers soon. Nice to have the cucumbers on the south because they're so thin foliage, still lets the light through. But we wanted to get the tomatoes in the ground and keep these beds for salad for the hungry people we have here. Got some flowers and herbs along the edges here too. Starting to really fill up in here. We did another layer of wood chips everywhere just to bring up the chips to the bed. Looks super neat and beautiful here. Something we really value, having really neat organized spaces and just attractive place to work in, as well as less weeds and less problems. It's really minimal weeding this year. There's obviously annuals that they come in on top of the compost, but compared to a cultivated production, it's just easeful to manage, and it looks incredibly beautiful as you see in the aerial footage here. Kales are coming up super nice. We've got red and green kales of different types, as well as kohlrabis and broccolis, and spinach doing nice. We've been talking a lot today in class about market gardening and really combining the best planning tools and techniques with the best tools and best soil care approach, which in my mind is no dig, leaving roots in the ground and just applying compost to the surface. And we talked today about how we can improve production per square meter, and we're already very productive per square meter. We've been talking with some farms that are vegetable producers in the area, and we're growing 40 times more produce per given area. But something we would like to do is grow on transplants, for flea beetle and things like that, if you're growing on bigger transplants, so less pest problems, but also to get more cycles of crops per season. It's something we're doing this year with the mesclun trials, and the romaine lettuce we're growing for the big spa and restaurants close by. Means we get up to 5 cycles in a season as opposed to 2 or 3 in most of the beds here. But by putting in transplants, we can maybe get 4 or 5 rotations in all beds, and that's going to be great for us because it'll drive production from about 40 euros per square meter up to potentially 60 or so, which is very interesting next step for us to see how far we can go with this intensive production. But we need more space, heated space, so we're thinking of importing some of the caterpillar tunnels that are becoming popular in the US now, and maybe wholesaling a whole load of them for other people here. There's a bunch of people here that want to buy them too, to reduce the transport costs, because they're not available in Europe yet. And we're thinking that we will totally change our seeding calendar to be able to accommodate that, putting in things a month earlier or so, but not needing a major heated space, being able to time it so we can have transplants going on in a much bigger space. In the caterpillar tunnel, they're usually 30 meters and cover 4 of these beds in this setup. So we can cover 36 beds for the cost of a tunnel like this, and we can move it each year. So it's a great investment idea and could lead to us really dramatically increasing what's already a very productive yield per square meter in our very short growing season. So a quick update, my days are super full with all these people here, and I'm busy late till night, so can't really keep up to date with the videos. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to click subscribe, share the videos, and you can find out more in our book, Making Small Farms Work. Catch you next time.